What's going on? Welcome back to episode number 2 of Keep It a Buck with the Bucks. As y'all know, last week we did not officially have a name, but now we have one. I'm glad to be back with my guys, Cardell Jones and Mr. DeVere Posey.
What's up, y'all?
Listen, it's good to be back. It's good to be back.
It's good to be back, man. We can kind of speak a little bit on the name. You know, I think we went kind of back and forth a little bit, and people was probably like wondering, like, man, why is it blurred out? You know, and some people thought it was kind of cool, kind of dope. You know, but obviously we needed a name so that people can find us.
For sure, I think it just plays into our personalities of keeping it real. As a young kid to say keeping it a buck, keeping it 100, to clearly our backgrounds of being Buckeyes. So, you know, I got to get all the credit to you two guys for being creative and making that happen. And I'm excited about it. Now, I think this is the first official episode with the name. I'm excited. And, we're going to dive into some great topics, some great conversation. Hopefully you guys enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, with us having a name like Keeping It a Buck, I think we always want to just, as Cardell said, keep it 100, keep it real, keep it authentic. This is a space for us to kind of just, you know, pick each other's brains and really, you know, kind of help our fans as well. You know, it's a lot of things that we're going to talk about that people probably want to, you know about us or even know about, you know, different sports, football, basketball. We're going to kind of touch on a little bit of everything, especially a little bit more so on mental health as well, because we think that's very important, especially for guys like ourselves who are retired now and doing a lot of things, you know, with our lives now. So,
speak for yourself. Talk about retire. I just saw, you know, Carolina and Miami called Cam Newton.
For real?
So,
hold on, they did what?
They gave Cam Newton a workout. They called him up.
You are lying.
I'm not. See, I told my wife this too, and I'm dead ass serious. I started working out again last month. And
man,
what I'm preparing, hold on, wait,
stop
listen. What
Stop
I'm preparing
it,
for. 2028, I'm getting on that flag football team.
Oh,
you know
my
what I'm
God.
saying? That Olympic flag football team. I'm going to at least go to the tryout.
Listen. I know that Achilles, okay? I know that Achilles.
That soft tissue.
I know that soft tissue you got over there.
Hey, that soft tissue
so
I had is
I'm going to
coarse.
hold you out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if I got to go to the whoever making the decisions to pick the team and let them know, like, hey, he fragile right there. You don't want him on your team.
He gonna cost you.
That hammy gonna go first. Then that Achilles coming next.
I can come in the red zone.
Yeah. Also, I wanna shout out my dog, Mr. Posey, man. As you see, he's rocking his right now. But he got me a special hat, man. Sorry.
I must say,
you can't be a part of this.
I didn't get the memo.
So
high school.
Obviously, you know, we had the opportunity to play in the Rose Bowl against Oregon in 2010, and we actually won that game. And DeVere found these hats online, and he purchased one for himself and myself. And I want to say I appreciate this, brother, because this means a lot to me. Even though I feel like we probably shouldn't have had to pay for this, but we're gonna get a refund some way somehow out of this.
But we had to get it.
We had to get it, yeah, because it's fire. I mean, it is fire. But moving on, I just want to start this off. You know, obviously I said we're gonna obviously hit on, you know, a lot of mental health and just checking in on each other, man. I just want to check on you guys and see how y'all doing mentally, physically. Just you know, I'll start with you, Depot.
Yeah, man. I think right now at this time of the year, mentally, physically, emotionally, I'm always tired.
Yeah.
But the thing about the fall, and I don't know if y'all feel like this, is I get this extra burst of energy, maybe because my biological clock is just used to kicking in,
ball.
Yeah.
you know, around this time and just powering through fatigue, powering through exhaustion. I really kind of put myself on a regiment during this time of year just because, man, I've been doing this since I was, 14 years old.
Yeah.
So I always try to get the most out of fall, going up into the holiday, trying to close the year out strong, quarter 3, quarter 4. So I'm a power through.
Yeah.
I'm a power through.
I guess, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. I got a quick question for both of you guys. I mean, y'all can answer this because this is something that, you know, I see my therapist every 2 weeks, and he always asks me around this time of the year, how are you doing mentally? Like, you know, are you
because football not in your life.
You know, because you used to going to like training camp and getting ready for the season. So obviously we're not doing that no more. So it can be a hard time. I mean, for me, it you know, once that fall hit and you smell that grass, it's just a different smell, a different feel. And like you said, your body's used to training and getting ready for the season. You know, how does your body react to this time of the year?
My my lower back start hurting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like my knees start to ache a little bit. Just because, you know, all those old injuries start to come out. My hands get to hurting a little bit. Yeah. But at the same time, man, like, to me, there's no better season than fall. You got basketball, football, baseball is in the playoff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just the best time of the year for sports. You get the sports equinox where all the major sports play on one day. I get excited for that, especially for our bettors in the room. Cartel, you know, he get a good parlay. But for me, man, like, I love this time of year. And from the bottom of my heart, I love all my coaches and my teammates, but I don't miss that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't miss
I definitely don't miss it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I think this time of the year for me and how I'm doing, I become very low tolerant because of that biological clock you've been on for so many years, where this point of ball, you're in the season. I saw a great comment that Joe Burrow made about his family and preparing for games on weekends and how, you know, Monday through Friday, you know, family's at the house, we kicking, we chilling. I'm you know, I got that steady line between family and professional, but Saturday, leave me alone. Or not necessarily leave me alone, but Saturday I'm just a different person.
Yep.
That 24 hours before that game,
you're getting in game mode.
I'm different.
Yep.
Like I'm probably not the most enjoyable to be around because I'm so laser focused on a task at hand. So I get a little bit low tolerant when it comes to certain things because I'm so used to things going a certain way, right? And ball, especially this part of the season, you know how your Mondays are going to be. You know how Tuesdays going to be. You know how Wednesdays going to be. So when things start to have curveballs in those normal days, when you're in that, that's where you like, okay, listen, like, I don't want to mess up my routine. And I think now being an analyst, being a fan of the sport, I just want to enjoy the games on weekends.
Mr.
I just want
Analyst.
to.
Yeah.
I just, I literally just, I
See
just
how you
want
threw that
to.
in there, Depot? Not an analyst. You
No,
know.
seriously, but I just want
Check my boy out.
Saturday, CBS.
Saturday, CBS. Yeah, that's him. That's him, y'all.
No, but on that point, man, like somebody told me this, and we had this deep conversation, and I want to give him his flowers. My dude, Deron Carter, he came to Ohio State, Chris Carter's son, and we were having this intimate talk, and he was like, "Man, I don't know if you agree, and I want to ask y'all," but he felt like this, and I agree with him. Everything about football sucks besides the game. Like to me, like game day is so much. It's just so much higher as far as like adrenaline, endorphins, and like what you're preparing for, rather than, you know, off-season training, practice, you know, media, all of these things, you know, the lifestyle that goes with it, the commitment, the sacrifices you got to make. Like, everything trumps the game, man. Like, if I could, I'm being serious. Like, if I could give 60 plays, I think I got 60 plays in me, bro. But that's all I got. I don't got a week of practice.
60 plays right now?
Right now.
So you're telling me.
That's a game. That's a game.
He first off, he's lying. Because you can't even go run 21 half gassers right now.
But you got to remember, if I'm in your offense, I'm blocking for your ass.
No.
For at least 40 of them.
Okay, all right, that's cool. But I'm just saying, you're trying to tell me that you can go out and give me 60 plays right now.
Maybe if somebody rotated in with me, I probably could give you 40. Probably give you 40.
What you think about that, Dale? Cap or?
I mean, it's a difference between going out there and like being a guy or being the guy.
I'm doing mandatory outside releases, Dale.
Yeah, I say I don't think he's having as much success as he want in those 40 plays.
Oh, yeah.
But being out there and being semi-productive, I think it's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
So are you saying like if the Texans called you right now,
I ain't saying
hold on. I'm just asking the question. Hey, I'm just asking the question because you just told me 60 plays. So I'm wondering, is that like, okay, the Texans just called you?
He
called
just told you when he getting ready for 2028.
Hold on.
65 football plays.
Okay, well, just make it clear for the fans. So you know what I'm saying? When they see this episode, they not like, hey, Depot ready to get signed, y'all. He in shape. He ready to go.
No, I'm cool.
No, sir.
Yeah.
But did y'all feel like that about game days? Were they just so much?
Well, yeah. I mean, clearly
the
game, but I want to hear your opinion on this as well. Clearly, the game is completely different from anything else you're going to go through. Yeah. But when I think about leading up to the game, going through the season, having a common goal as a team to reach a certain point of the season or to reach certain accolades, I always enjoy the journey versus practices versus anything. Everything that kind of made the team ultimately helped them achieve what we were set out to achieve. Mm-hmm. So I always reflected on the journey. I remember our last game, it was freaking, Notre Dame Fiesta Bowl. We win the game, and I was just sitting in my locker, and like, it's all over. This victory is great. I never cried or like, I was so emotional about a victory or a loss. It was more so the end of a journey or reflecting on how we got here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right? I think that was more impactful for me, even with the outcome of some of the games. But clearly, it always helps when you achieve and reach some of those goals you set out for a team and individually. But I think, the things you learn from a sport like football, you don't appreciate those things until later in life. Yep. Mm-hmm. How to be hardworking, how to be dedicated, how to understand sacrifice and things like that.
Yep. Everything. Yep.
I'd say, like, okay, who don't want a partner that understand those things? Yep. Who don't want an employee or be an employer that have a brand that the people who that work for you understand those things. So that's why I think that's also why you see a lot of major CEOs or people in higher up positions in a lot of different avenues of life that have some type of major sport background because they understand those things. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm. Can you repeat the question again, just so I make sure I answer correctly?
Well, I wanted to know for you guys, like outside of game
the game, okay,
like was there anything that was like enjoyable to you? Like I felt like I did everything just to be able to play.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's obviously different from college and pros. In college, Sunday you coming in watching film, you got to get your couple lifts through the week. Obviously, you still going to class and everything. When you get to the NFL, it's strictly like
all ball.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll say from an NFL perspective, obviously Monday you getting the lift in, you're not really doing nothing. Tuesday is your off day. For the people that don't know that, in the NFL, Tuesday is the off day, and they bring in a bunch of guys to work out to possibly take your job, which can suck for some guys. But obviously Wednesday is really when the week. That's when like the real grind actually starts.
And on Thursday night games, that whole clock is pushed.
Oh yeah, so that's the difference too. Yeah. I mean, it changes because you could have a Sunday game and then mess around and have a game on Thursday, or then you could have a game on Sunday and then you have a game on Monday night. So it's all time. Everything is timed. But do I miss? Only thing I miss is like kind of like the locker room, being around the guys, having a good time. But that actual grind, bro, obviously, like you said, you learn a lot. You pick up great habits of time management and everything like that. Even not even time management of just being on time, but like even inside of the game, like protections and routes. Like if you ain't in the route at a certain time, or what I'm saying, like it's so many things that go into it. But I don't miss it.
I think like when it's like the fact of missing it, clearly I think is like I always when I go to games, I always get chills during the national anthem because I remember that feeling. That feeling probably would never go away from me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's been times where at Ohio State games on the sideline and you do national anthem and I may say start walking to the bench instead of the stands. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you kind of it snaps you back into that. But I don't miss the physical part of it. But
not at all.
The mental grind I enjoyed because I really enjoy winning the game from the neck up.
Yeah.
Right. But outside of that, like the long process to get to these games,
Hey.
the long process to get to these games, I don't miss. I can't stand y'all. On the side note, Jesus Christ.
That boy did just get locked up now. Stop playing now.
Anyways, outside of that, talking about the game, right? We got a team right now that's sitting in 3-0, Ohio State.
Yeah.
You know, when we did our first show, you know, we talked about how great this team could be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 3 weeks through the season, right? Well, 4 because they had a bye week. 4 weeks through the season, going into week 4, right? What do you guys think of this team?
I think they look good, obviously, but we haven't really been challenged yet. So it's kind of hard to really grade them because we haven't been challenged on the field yet. I mean, obviously, I think Ryan Day is doing a great job of making sure that we handle business against teams like this because you see there are some other teams who have struggled with a team.
Notre Dame went down to NIU. Toledo went down last week to put it on Mississippi State at night. So.
That you're paying $1 million, $1.5 million to come play you. So just imagine, you know, Notre Dame, I'm not sure what the number was. I'm sure it was over $1 million. $1.4 million to come play us and y'all beat us. That has to be a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
But to get back on the Buckeyes, everything looks, you know, solid. You know, obviously for us, for me this year, I want to see us not be good. I don't want to see us to compete. I want to see us dominate. Mm-hmm. Literally every play, every down. And I want everybody else to feel our anger and our want to win because that's just how important it is for these guys. And it's not just about that Team Up North game. Everybody needs to feel, you know, that we.
Yeah, and I think Coach Day and the staff, one, I think they're living up to the quote unquote expectations or the thoughts I had about this team. They answered a lot of questions that I had about this team. You did a great job in the transfer portal bringing all these guys in, but how can you gel them all together?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How can you have certain guys accept their new roles? It may be lesser or more than what they're used to. How is that chemistry going to be articulated on the field? And I think thus far, talent-wise, no one has been able to compare yet, right? Yeah. When it comes to, I think it was Western Michigan and who else they play? I totally forgot. But they get ready to play Marshall. Well, on paper.
Did we play Akron?
Akron.
Yeah.
Akron was, yeah. But on paper, none of these teams will be able to compete with these guys on paper. So Ohio State's doing everything they're supposed to do so far in these first few weeks to these teams that clearly, you know, are lesser opponents, you know, on paper. I am excited about, you know, clearly as they start to get into Big Ten play here another week or two, to see how they stack up versus guys that are just as equally as talented. I think Ohio State's still the most talented team in the country. But when you can just say, hey, my backups, my threes can beat this team by 50 points, you know, it's hard to grade a team out on that. But they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing right now. Yeah. I think that's the most impressive part.
I guess I'll ask you, how have you been with Will Howard's performance, his leadership? I
think it's been extremely fair. I think it's been great to see him walk into a new environment, a new locker room, win the quarterback battle, and ultimately embrace himself in Buckeye Nation, embrace himself in the culture of Ohio State. It's a little bit different than Kansas State, I would imagine. And then what I was really impressed with Will was he played in my charity softball game we had this fall, this summer. And to see a guy so engaged, a guy of his status, so engaged with not just us as former players, but have an opportunity to watch him around the current
fan
guys.
Base.
Have an opportunity to watch him around the fan base. Mm-hmm. I was so impressed with him. I'm like, this guy gets it. And it's not just all about football with this guy. Mm-hmm. Like at one point in time, he put on a freaking Smith's costume, German costume, and played in the freaking game and was just like, he's a fan favorite. And those type of small things, I think for athletes, a little side note, takes a fan from being a fan to a supporter. A fan is only going to be a fan when you're doing good. But a supporter, you have those people for life. Those are people that are going to support Will through whatever endeavors that he ultimately decided to do. If it's football, if it's life after football, whatever it may be. I guarantee you he won over some of those people, and to say when he has that bad game, he's going to have some of those people defending him on social media when people say, oh man, put Devin in or put Julian in or put Ari in and blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, this kid is a human being. This is a great athlete, right? But he's also personable. He's also this and that. So when you have an opportunity to show your other characteristics and who you are outside of those helmets and shoulder pads, I mean, he takes advantage of it.
Yeah. For me, man, this Ohio State team has. I think they've exceeded my expectations in terms of. I believe that they're playing extremely sharp. I believe that they're playing extremely fast. And I think for me, that's what I like to see, right? Like I don't really feel like they stumbled out the gates in any of these games. Offense sells tickets, but defense wins championships. And then even to go deeper into defense wins championships, like any NFL team that you name or any college football team that you name, like they have a first round, second round, third round D linemen, linebacker, DBs. Like this team has the characters, right? Like when you think of the 2000 Ravens, you think of Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, right? You think of, the Rams. You think of Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. Like this team has the characters.
They got the makeup for sure.
They have the players. They have the players, and in terms of like being challenged, I don't even think a guy like Caleb Williams has even had any recreation yet. Like I think he hasn't even got any rec yet. Like I don't even think he's had an opportunity to make a game-changing play. I don't think Cody Simon has really had an opportunity to show you his impact because they've just been superior to all their opponents. And like I'm not trying to like basically like hype them up, but in terms of perfect storm, Jim Knowles is in his third year. These guys have been in the system in their third years. They got all the missing pieces on defense that they needed. In terms of offense, I believe Chip Kelly is just playing checkers right now. He hasn't even started the chess game. Yeah. Like in terms of install deal, they're in install day 1 through 3.
Yeah.
They haven't even gone to 4, 5, and 6 and really like ran the corner off of the post route they've been running, right? Like I think this team, we haven't even really got to feel Emeka Ibuka's presence yet, right? We haven't got to feel Carnell Tate's presence yet. There's so many layers that still have left to come out, and I like that depth because those guys are so thirsty to make plays, and I want to make sure I give a shout out to the special teams because I was
gonna say, man, don't leave the special teams.
They've been frustrating me for a while, for a couple years in terms of just leaving yards out there. Mm-hmm. Like teams we played on, Dale, boom, like. There's no better feeling than getting a great return, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's no better feeling than
change the whole game.
Being in a tight game and somebody take a kick back, you like, ooh, yes. Like we needed that. like you know what I mean? Or getting pump blocked or picking up a first down on fourth down.
And that's why you usually see a lot of head coaches, especially in a college level, really takes a liking to special teams because how important it is. I mean, Harbaugh was like that. Urban was like that. A lot of
Tress was definitely
like that.
They changed their format. Ryan Day, they've taken a committee coach approach, like how Tress would, like each coach has a certain special teams, and Ryan Day is overseeing that. And so, and I think with that mindset, that's what is allowing like Brandon Ennis to kind of get off. That's what allowing this team to really be more aggressive in the return game and
spreading the wealth.
I am pretty satisfied with what I've seen so far from the 2024 Buckeyes.
Nice. I mean, I guess I would have to ask you, obviously this guy has kind of exploded on the scene. Jeremiah Smith has had some strong games.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he breaks the record this year?
The thing with me with Jeremiah Smith is, I mean, yes, he will. He's already in the top 4. Yes. But it's not about the numbers. It's about who he is that I love the most. Right. Like he's like a quiet, about business kind of guy, and the only thing loud from him that you're gonna see is his play. Mm-hmm. Like, and I like that. Like he dropped a tunnel screen. His body language response was next level. He didn't put his hands on his head. He didn't look at his hands like, I would have scored that. He just went to the next play. And then when you talk about him and everything, you listen to his post-game interviews, the guy feels like he can be better. And I like that mentality from him at such a young age. He's not about like, like the Odell dancing and all of that stuff. Not that I
know
don't
Shedeur
like it.
Sanders, huh?
No, well, no, it's not that. That stuff isn't accepted. Personality is accepted, but production is demanded, and he's just all production, man.
Yeah,
like
he's always been like that.
Yeah,
I mean, you hear the stories that come out about him throughout spring and leading up to the fall. There's a reason why he got his black stripe taken off the first day of a spring ball.
First day.
So I mean, the guy is,
man, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
yeah, the guy is about all business, and that's what I love about him as well. And it reminds me of some of the things I just mentioned about Will. It's just like he's not just a football player either. Like he's quiet, but he's very personable. He's quiet. He's a great football player, but he also is very intelligent when it comes to just this other sport we call life. This guy isn't going to be defined by, like you said, his drop. He didn't beat himself up. He's not going to harp on it. He's not defined by that football field. And then clearly, like you said before, he also thinks he's continue to get better, which he can. So he's going to be a guy that NFL scouts already are drooling over, that he got to spend 2 more years in college before they have their bidding wars for this guy.
Yeah.
So I think if he stays on the trajectory that he's on now, clearly I think he's going to not just break some records this year, but throughout his career.
Yeah.
But as we do see, as they get through the more tough weeks of playing more quality opponents, clearly he will be a demand, a guy like, hey, you need to know where he at. 20 exactly.
Yeah, we got to stop this guy.
And with a guy like that being so effective, I mean, it's hard to even say let's focus so many guys on them, because they still got guys like Brandon and Carnell and Emeka and G. Scott and all these running backs to really still hurt you.
Yeah.
So this
Crazy.
is a team,
It's just crazy how talented.
It's like pick your poison.
How crazy how talented this team is.
I wanted to ask you real quick before we get off Ohio State. I know you excited about Junkins and Trevion, but the man Peoples has scored in every game. do you like what you see from James Peoples?
It's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
You got a 3-headed monster.
Yeah. He's a part of the monster
Oh, absolutely.
right now already as a freshman.
I think you got to have a pair and a spare. The way
Yeah.
the way the game is played now, and I think he's
but it all starts with the running back coach. I think he's doing a great job. I freaking love his energy.
Yeah.
Like the way he goes about the game.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those guys that gets in there at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's getting a workout. Obviously he's in the office, but
he's obviously doing
but
shrugs.
y'all all know this. If you walking in the building and you seeing your coach just finishing a hard workout, or you know what I'm saying, he getting right, that puts something. That's almost like a fatherhood. It's like your father. You want to be like your father, and he's leading by example.
Yeah, he's practicing what he preached.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Coach Locke does a good job of, I think, managing the rotations.
absolutely.
Like, I think that it was just weird last year. Like, a guy would start a drive, it would be a back for the middle of the field, and then it would be a red zone back. That was just odd to me.
Well, you also, I think last year and this year, especially in that room, it's a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah.
The guys they brought in, the guys who left that room from the coach on down, but you also dealt with major factors that brought guys back like Trevion. You also deal with injuries.
Yep.
I mean, that room really wasn't healthy the last 2.5 years.
No, for sure.
When I say healthy, I mean as close to 100% as possible, where guys wasn't limited in practice. That's what I mean healthy. Everybody's going to be banged up. It's only week 3 or 4, and everybody's probably banged up now. But when you have guys limited in practice, okay, they're not as healthy as we want them to be. So when you have 2-3 guys like that, in that room for the last 2.5 years, it's hard to, I would imagine it'd be hard to lean on one guy more than another, or really maximize these guys' potential. I mean, guys look like, oh man, after Trevion's first year, this guy was going to, project to be a top pick and all this other stuff that coming out of year 3. Yeah. But he dealt with some things that set him back. When he's healthy, when he's rolling, he's by far one of the best running backs in the country. By not even close.
Yeah.
So you have other aspects and other factors that plays in a part of your job as a coach and your success as a team that you don't control. I mean, injuries are going to happen to everybody.
Yeah.
So to really compare this year's room to last year, a few years prior, it's kind of tough for me just because I know of the injuries guys had to deal with.
Yeah.
We're talking about Ohio State running back. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got to say this, though. I'm about to J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, my God. He's killing it.
Hey,
Look at
going,
my eyes, rolling.
hey,
He's killing it.
going crazy.
Going
but,
crazy.
but we gonna wait because
Healthy.
we're gonna get to the
Healthy.
NFL
Healthy.
side. You know what I'm saying? I wanna still stay here a little bit on the college, but shout out to JK, man. My boy healthy now, and even though he doing it with a guy that we don't really like that, but
we
hey,
like NFL hardball. We can tolerate him.
Yeah, because
I
you,
like the man. Listen.
ain't got to deal with him.
I liked him at San Francisco. You like Frank? Boom. You would have wanted to been a running back in San Francisco with Frank Gore. Don't lie. Like
I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
he Harbaugh's he's a smart coach. He said, you know what, this brother used to kill me in college.
For sure.
Let me go ahead and go snag him up. You know what I'm saying? Even with all the injuries and things, honestly, shout out to JK because he's been through a lot.
Was
And
it
for
ACL,
him
ACL and Achilles, right?
for him to
Yep.
keep going, bro. I know some guys who had one Achilles, one ACL, whatever, everything that he had, and they shutting it down. He kept on pressing forward, man, and I'm so happy to see him succeeding right now.
For sure.
and doing his
I mean,
thing.
Absolutely.
But even going back to his time at Ohio State, even before Ohio State, I mean, it's the reason why he was one of the top backs in the country.
Oh, he was.
It's the reason why that
he
had
really
an
don't get the love
unbelievable career.
that he deserves because
Yeah, because he was more like, I mean, he played with Mike Repper,
Yeah.
right? So which they was running
Zeke?
like a two-head monster. No, Zeke wasn't there.
He wasn't there with Zeke at all?
Mike was.
Okay.
But then, so when he finally is the guy, then you have a young emerging guy in their room as well who's taking some of his hits off you. But he was still drafted top 2 rounds, if I
Yeah.
can remember.
Yeah,
Rookie JK was unbelievable.
yeah.
So it goes back to the health part of that thing. And I think,
He
it's,
looks
it's
better
easy.
now to me than he did rookie year.
Yeah, because
way
now
he's
he's not
running.
just playing strictly off like,
Well-
young guy killing. He's playing off of so much experience.
Yeah,
And
I was just about to say
knowledge. That's what he's
he has
playing off of.
experience now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I seen him
Yeah.
play where he broke a solid between 20 and 30 yards as the first game of the season, and he got out of bounds. Mm-hmm. He got out of bounds.
he's smart now.
You know what
That
I'm saying?
hit off
So
yourself.
little things like that, like
Yeah.
it just shows the maturity of players, and I'm extremely excited to see this kid grow up right before our eyes as well.
Yeah.
He was a guy that always would come back, and see and mess with him in the freaking locker room and
Right.
crack
Great
jokes
dude,
with
man.
him.
Yeah.
And play with him. But so he was always another personable guy, a guy that's his personality was just bigger than life itself.
Yeah.
So for him to see him deal with some of the injuries he have dealt with, right, and that probably took him to very dark places in his life
absolutely.
and in his mind because
Absolutely.
it looks like
Just to
it's
get
over.
another opportunity is a blessing.
no
in
one
itself.
is like, let's be honest, no one is giving a running back
No.
too many opportunities
No.
of 2 season-ending injuries.
Right,
Like,
right.
so
Yeah.
kudos to the Chargers and that organization for believing in him, and kudos to JK for maximizing this opportunity in this short period of time in the NFL season.
Absolutely. Keep it going, JK.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess you went to the NFL. I got one more question for you guys. Who do we see as a threat to Ohio State?
Outside the Big Ten or period?
Period.
Texas.
You got a few teams. Yeah, you got a few teams.
Texas.
And I wouldn't say a threat. I would say you got a few teams that I think are championship contenders. Ohio State, Georgia, Texas.
So I know you say Georgia.
I would say Tennessee.
I'm there now. I got
So
5 teams
so
in there.
obviously,
Ain't let you finish.
my bad. Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad.
No,
Go
Ohio State,
ahead.
Georgia, Texas, Tennessee. I got Ole Miss as my dark horse.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Jackson.
See,
Yeah, oh,
I thought
that's
you was
my
only gonna
dark
say
horse.
like 3 teams. My bad.
Oh no,
My
I got
bad,
those
bro.
5 as real
and they
that I
gotta-
think is
and they
real
gotta beat
contenders.
each other to get to us.
But it's
Yeah.
playoffs
Yeah,
though. Yeah,
right.
they can Ohio State can potentially face one of those guys out of that scenario.
Well, you named one on Big Ten team and 4 SEC teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then 2 of them have to play. So one of them will have to play in the earlier rounds. Considering if
So
Yeah, clearly Ohio State ain't gonna play
so how
Yeah.
are they
They can
doing
potentially play
it?
2 of
So
them.
obviously you still have a conference championship, right?
top 4. So the Big 4 conferences, Big 12, ACC, Big
and that's the
10,
top 4 spots.
And yeah, they get the top 4 spots.
Okay.
Automatic bids bye week.
Okay.
You know what's scary? Before I get more in deep into that, Florida State can still make the playoffs
They're not.
with the bye.
no,
They can. They can make it. They win the ACC. They in. With
Listen,
a bye.
they're not gonna win the ACC.
I
not-
know. I
I'm
know.
gonna take Kyle
but
McCord and the fine orange man over
I'll
there.
tell yeah, me too. But it's
Yeah.
scary to say they 0-3 and they can still win this thing. They
Yeah.
can still they in position to.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a fighting chance,
Yeah.
but they in position to. So that'll be my message to that team if I'm the coach. But
Boston College
you
is
got those
playing
four.
well.
Miami
Syracuse
is
is
gonna-
playing well. I think
Miami's gonna
Miami's
win it.
going to win that division.
Yeah.
But I mean, Kyle McCord is leading the nation passing yards. He's undefeated.
Shout
He
out-
has one loss as a starter.
Shout out
You got to
to
just
Kyle.
respect production.
Listen,
man.
listen. That's what I'm going to say. There. And just being, I love this new format of college football because it's crazy.
Get
It's
kids
crazy.
more opportunity.
It gives people more opportunity. You guys heard it here first. Clemson. I mean, not Clemson. Syracuse, Miami, ACC championship game.
I'm with, nah. I'm
You
with
look
right
at
there.
Syracuse schedule. They got to play Miami at home.
It's very light.
It's not the toughest schedule, but they got to play Miami at home. They gonna give them a tough battle. I don't know who win that game, but the top two teams are gonna play. Miami, I don't think they're gonna. If they win one or two, they're still in there in a championship game. Syracuse got a nice, easy.
Yeah, they got to beat
Respectable
Boston
road.
College. And they
Yeah,
gave
yeah.
Missouri hell this weekend. Bill O'Brien has that thing cooking up there.
Yeah.
So Boston College is a threat
Yeah,
to those two teams' dreams, for sure.
Yeah.
But as far as like true talented threat to Ohio State, Texas. I mean, just what I saw this past weekend. I love me some Quinn Ayers. I think he's gonna be the number 1 overall draft pick.
Where to?
I'm not sure, but then you got the depth with Arch Manning. Thank God that Cooper is his dad, former wide receiver, and he's not Peyton or Eli's son because he showed some wheels, right? He,
70
he-
yards.
Yeah, he sure did. I was like, whoa. I ain't never seen that out of a Manning.
yeah,
can
right. That didn't even seem right.
Right.
Yeah, he can
So,
move.
and I think defensively, what they did in Michigan, and I think, and I've been really like on the radio show, like really trying to punch this point home. USC is the second best team in the Big Ten. Deontay Lynn, he played at Penn State. When we played them, he wore number 8. I don't know if you remember him. Son of Anthony Lynn, defensive
Hey,
coordinator.
Lynn, yeah.
been in
That
the
was my
league
running
for a
back.
long
Yeah,
time.
right.
He's
Yep.
changed the mentality of that USC defense. They're playing defense. They went toe-to-toe with an LSU team, and to me, they look like the better team all game. They got a quarterback in Miller Moss who can play. Can you guys imagine going to Indianapolis and watching USC versus Ohio State for the Big Ten championship?
You know that would be
so
a
much
good one.
fun.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit on
Yeah.
two things you said about a threat to Ohio State. It's hard to say who's a real threat to who. Yeah, I think, like I said, that's why
It's still early.
That's why I
Yeah, it's
worded
still
it.
early.
That's
Yeah.
why I worded it and said, hey, I think these 5 teams have the chance to win a national championship. Only like
you put,
USC. I mean, Texas offense looked great. You can't be that. But I just don't know what their defense looked like versus a Michigan offense that's horrible. So like but they did what they had to do. They did what they were supposed to do to that offense. On the
did.
defensive side.
Okay.
I just don't think they're going to have ability to keep Ohio State offense in check for as long as they did for Michigan offense.
Oh.
I think it's way too many weapons.
For
I
sure.
can't name one guy accurately on Michigan's offense other than Alex Orji because he got a funny name, right?
Yeah.
So.
Man, grow up, man.
And like literally, so when you talk about playmakers, on both sides of the ball,
Yeah. What's wrong with you, man?
I'm just saying, there's only guy I can name no one else. But you talking about playmakers on both sides of the ball, those 5 teams I named has playmakers all around. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think my sleeper team, and I can't really even say that they're a sleeper because they've been balling these first couple weeks, is Tennessee probably.
Nico Ayamala.
I think you spoke on him before.
I
Just
told you about him.
Yeah.
I was chilling
Yeah.
last year. I turned on the Iowa Capital One Bowl.
he was in slinging it all around the place,
He was what?
slinging it all around the place.
What? He was throwing the ball good. And the thing I like about him, you talk about his pro comp to me is he looks like Marcus Mariota, but at the same time, he's 6'6", 215, which is crazy. And he's in Coach Heupel's offense. He was a quarterback at Oklahoma, won a national championship. Last time Oklahoma won a national championship. And like when you have a quarterback head coach with somebody like that, you're gonna give him all the tools that he needs to go and be successful. And I think that's sort of what we're seeing. And then even on top of that, they have potentially the number one defensive draft pick on the defensive side of the ball too. So, but like with anything, man, the SEC is a gauntlet, and it's so hard to make it out of.
Yeah, that's a tough part. Like, not just to make it out of. It's so hard to make it out of thing healthy.
Yes,
healthy.
exactly.
That's the biggest thing because you look at the top 10. I guarantee it's probably 6 SEC. I don't even know it because it's probably 6 SEC teams in there, and they all got to play each other.
Yeah,
like Texas,
and
Oklahoma
not all of them
already
are,
this week.
Not all of them
Texas,
are
Tennessee, Oklahoma already this
yeah,
week.
Yep.
and not all of them are that good, to be honest. Like,
it's
the
I don't
SEC
think,
gets a lot of hype, man, but I mean, you see a team like Kentucky, we know that's not great.
Stop that though. When we talk about SEC teams, we're not talking about the whole conference as a whole. Like when people talk about the Big Ten, who are they talking about? Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and Wisconsin traditionally.
Yeah.
And now with these other teams. When we talk about the SEC, we're talking about Alabama, Georgia, now Tennessee is back in that conversation.
And that's it.
Ole Miss.
But the thing with the SEC that I think I have to give them a credit on, even though the team might not be that good, it's a battle every week.
Yeah.
Like they're used to playing in what
dog fights. Yeah.
Like same thing with Ohio State. Like they're gonna be SEC teams, even 3rd, 4th, 5th guys. Like they probably were in a battle with number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
At some point in the season. Like those guys know how to battle to the last minute. We've played against a couple SEC teams. When you played against Bama. Those dudes fought. Like y'all took a lead and they fought back. Like and it's like they're used to taking it down to the wire. So I gotta give the SEC credit in terms of like their league plays 4-quarter football. It's no running the ball. It's no putting the start. The number 2s or 3s in when you play an SEC team.
Yeah,
you got a finished team.
2 weeks ago, Kentucky laid an egg at home versus South Carolina.
Right.
They got Georgia coming down. They take Georgia to the wire.
Like it's crazy.
But you have so many examples of that all around college football.
Yeah.
I say that to say this. I do think the SEC as a whole, as a conference, especially with the emergence of Texas, is the best conference in all of football, and it's the toughest because, like I said, they all got to play each other too. So when they have opportunity to play at the end of the season out of conference teams, like I'm safe to say Ohio State's going to be fresher if they play Georgia in a playoff game. I think they're going to be fresher because I think the most physical games they may have always a team up north because that's a rivalry.
Yeah,
they play Penn State at Penn State. I don't think it's going to be a physical game versus Oregon. And then maybe Nebraska. So let's say 2.5 games out of that.
We can't fall asleep versus Indiana either.
I'm talking about physical aspect of it. I'm talking about when guys are really just physically banged up.
Let's be honest, though.
Like teams like Ohio State, teams like another conference are going to be fresher physically than coming out of the SEC.
We getting each team's best game plan, best game when they play us. Like when teams see us on their schedule, we got Ohio State. We got to bring out trick plays. We got to bring out.
Oh no, I'm about to get drafted off this film.
Absolutely,
absolutely.
So if you think,
I'm going crazy.
If we play Nebraska
here,
yeah. If you think Buddy ain't over there like, man, I can't wait till we play them.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Like sure,
you gotta. That's why it's so important for us to play, great football, clean football each week, man. Because right now, because you don't want to show no weakness nowhere because teams is watching film on us, even though they might not be playing us this coming up week. They showing like, hey, look, y'all know what we got coming up week 7, week 9, 10.
Nope.
We're going to watch a little bit of film. You know what I'm saying? Because coaches know. If I get this win, it could change my whole.
Yeah, change the trajectory.
It could change everything.
So, I mean, well, that's the great thing about college football. It's still so early in the season. And now college football is more so like the NFL as we transition to the NFL because now you almost have that aspect of any given Saturday.
Yeah.
Right now, before, no way Cincinnati make a college football playoff, right? As they did 3 years ago with Fick.
Yeah.
Now, before you have so many more teams with the opportunity, and then that group of 5 team who gets a bid for that 12th spot, right? So now they have opportunity to be a Cinderella story. So I'm excited about college football clearly, and a new dynamic, and just as a season and a conference realignment as it's continued to evolve. But when we talk about evolving and transitioning, you guys see the Texas versus Chicago game Monday night with CJ versus Caleb Williams.
Yeah, of course.
What do you guys think about that situation in the game where Caleb tried to? I mean, I wouldn't speak for him. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what his mindset is in the games, because I know how I was at the end of games, NFL games. Like if I even had,
if you just
even
lost,
if I had buddies on the other team, okay, like
I don't want to talk
would
to you.
dap you, okay, before the game, but I'm not. Hey man, let's do that. We doing TikToks. I'm not.
We ain't swapping jerseys.
I holler at you after the game if we win. That's
Right.
how I was.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Call it a sore loser, whatever. But I just know how I took defeats. Right?
But I tell you
I
this,
wouldn't dap nobody up.
as being supposedly, the captain, the leader of the team, the camera's always going to be you.
For sure.
Be on you as the quarterback. I think CJ was I don't think CJ was trying to throw no shade or nothing. I think he was really just seeing
CJ,
another brother as a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Giving him support, to be honest.
For
Because he told
sure.
the brother, look, stop taking them hits.
Yeah.
I've been there before. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not 7 sacks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I see
just
that thing out his hand.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But he's been Jesus Christ.
That was wild.
CJ has been, I think the conversation and the advice came from a place, hey, I've been there before.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think from the video Caleb received it as that, but I don't think Caleb also received it as, oh, you trying to look like we the same. I don't think he was that. I don't know neither. I don't know Caleb. I know CJ's character. I know how he is.
Yeah.
I guarantee he was out of something like, bro, like
It's
listen,
love. All
yeah,
love,
I've been there
bro.
before. This seems like
It's
the end
all
of the world.
love.
It's not, bro. You on a great trajectory in life and a great trajectory. Like, don't lose faith. Don't lose, confidence in yourself. That's the vibe I got from that encounter, because that's the type of person CJ is.
Yeah.
Now, do I have any doubt in my mind
Okay.
that's going to develop a relationship between CJ and Caleb, moving forward as Caleb continue to go through his young career and say, man, you know what, he was right, or man, those little things, those little nuggets he gave me in that brief moment, as I applied them to my game, okay, I'm, things are working out differently for me, and they make that kind of connection later on down the road. But
Yeah.
I definitely don't think it was no ill will by either parties with that brief encounter.
Yeah.
I think for me, and this goes in the same category as like the Shador Colorado State thing. Like I just believe, like, after competition, like, in your best interest as a professional who will probably cross paths with somebody at Radio Row, Pro Bowl, you don't know who you'll see on the other side of the ball. You don't know post game. Post football, if you'll be an analyst together, whatever, college coaches together. I just believe, like, if UFC fighters and boxers can make up narratives before fights and go out there and try to literally knock somebody else out, the final bell rings, the final rounds are over. If I can see a fighter embrace somebody and kind of like squash everything and be like, man, I respect you, like that was a battle, or like, man, you got me this time, I wasn't my best, like if those guys can do that, like in the most brutal sports, I just believe even in football, like we could take the Hollywood away. Everybody, and I always say this, like the prayer line in football is real long. Everybody is praying for the same thing.
Man, what?
Like everybody wants that contract. Everybody wants a Super Bowl. Everybody wants to be a Pro Bowler.
Injury free.
Injury free. And everybody wants what you're trying to achieve. It's
Right.
okay to have mutual respect for the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we all come from the same type of situations. And I just believe, from my perspective, like, you should do that. Now, in saying that, like, the Texans played the Colts a bunch of times when me and Bone played. I wasn't shaking his hand.
We was tapping that ass every time.
But I'm going to call him after the game. I'm going to call him after the game like, well, you went crazy.
What you was
You know what I'm saying?
what you was
went
doing
crazy.
after the game, and you was telling what?
Man, Dale, grow up.
Yeah, bro. Like, what?
What was going on? Y'all was what was happening?
Nah,
after
and the thing
game?
is, we got them boys a
Did he
couple
go
times.
crazy on you?
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, if there has to be like a mutual respect thing when it comes to competition. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be something.
For sure, but it's always so weird too when you got two quarterbacks going against each other. I was like, dude, the quarterbacks don't play against each other. I'm playing against that quarterback's defense. They're playing against my defense.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it wasn't.
They
I don't
build
think
it up that way though. Right?
exactly, of course,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it wasn't like CJ was out there defending passes or sack Caleb or vice versa, right? So, I'm pretty sure all of it will blow over. I do, man. CJ's continue to press me each and every week. and not just with his play, just the way he carried himself through this whole ordeal. I mean, he completely changed that trajectory of that franchise as a player. So that's pretty good. That's pretty cool to see, especially with him being a Buckeye.
Are you talking about this franchise?
Yeah.
you
ain't leave your mark on him like CJ doing though, bro.
Oh, you talking about
CJ still trying to rebuild what you destroyed.
Oh,
I think I had more professional games at Cardell.
You for sure have. You for sure have. You actually for sure have.
Hey, you talking about
Nelly.
in Texas? Hey, leave me alone, Dale.
shot. Pew, pew, pew.
See how you do me? Nah. But that's a great part about, I think, our relationship and just playing in a place like Ohio State. You develop a relationship and a brotherhood where it's extremely normalized for us to rag on each other, right? It's extremely normalized for us to, keep each other humble, to be there for each other, right? I mean, we started off the show with, checking in and you asked us how we doing outside of all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which is conversations we as black men don't usually have. Put aside football, put aside sports, put aside all of it. We as black men usually don't have an environment, a safe space to talk about our feelings, to talk about
What's going
what
on
you
in
went
life.
to, how
Yeah.
your family.
Because I know you be like at the crib crying all the time. You be calling me and so I just, I want the people to know that, so I be checking on you, bro, when you be at the crib and you be crying and everything. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it, man. No, those are things that I definitely take a lot of pride in myself because of making sure I can be the outlet for my, friends and family. And like I said, I think that's one thing that we lack in our community overall as being, emotional or vulnerable, when it comes to us just being men, because we used to, we grew up, you gotta, ain't no time to cry.
Yeah.
Right. We all grew up in tough parts of the country, inner cities of the country, right? Major inner cities in the country where your feelings was always talked about.
Yeah.
I say this all the time, like, my biological mom growing up, never told me she loved me, but I knew it was inferred by the way she treated us. We might not always have what we wanted, but for the most part, we had what we needed.
Yeah.
But my needs may not look like your needs. So, but I understood the struggle. I understood that. And that's not like just my reality, that's you guys' reality. And a lot of, people around the country who are, share the same skin we do. And it develops a armor of, I gotta keep this image. Oh, I gotta be tough. I gotta
be tough. Can't
I gotta
cry.
I gotta be
strong all the time.
Yeah, I'm the only one going through this, but like really, a lot of us is going through the exact same thing.
Yeah, and that's what I really hate about the culture, whatever you want to call it, for black men. Because at the same time, we all are raising our own kids now. So it's important for us to be in a good space, us to be mentally strong, but also know that you can have somebody that you can reach out to and talk about your problems and solve things, because we got little ones that are definitely looking up to us, and they pay attention more than you would ever imagine.
Oh, for sure.
So it's important for us to be in a good space so that we can have them be in a great space, because at this time, I always say nothing I do is really, obviously I have to do it for myself, but it's more so for my family and my kid, you have to start with yourself first, though.
Yeah, I think it goes back to that term. I'm pretty sure we all heard the term of breaking a cycle.
Yeah,
right?
And we all breaking them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think we all.
If we being real.
I think we all doing a good job of trying to, like I said, I do believe the way I was raised and things I've seen and had to go through has got me here on this couch with you guys today. And I believe I had to go through every last one of those things to get here today. If one of those things was different, I wouldn't be here today. I may be in a better place. I may be in a worse place. Who knows? I may not be here at all. I don't know. So, but I also don't want my kids to have to go through 95% of that shit.
That's facts.
So I also don't want them to feel 98% of the shit that made me feel a certain way of going through those fucking tough times or whatever it may be. And trying to find a happy medium of, okay, how do I navigate and make sure they don't feel this, they don't see this shit, but still come out with the lessons I learned from this shit.
All right.
Yeah, and that's the thing about fatherhood. I think for me, I mean, I grew up without my dad. He died when I was 10. And I mean, it could just like not having a father can like leave that hole in your life. But for me, like I like grew into the man that I always wanted to be, right? And I think like that's why I get excited for that role, no matter like what I'm going through. Like I've promised myself that like not y'all, not where I work at or the businesses I'm involved in, those things won't get the best version of me. Like the best version of me, like my most energetic self, like my most attention, my most patient, the most caring, the most like, best part that knows how to plan things, like my kids are gonna get that, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna get to the house and be like, I don't have that extra energy to come and play and see and lock in and hit one knee and see what y'all got going on. Like, nah, like y'all about to get the best parts of me. Like, and I think with doing that, that's what I get out of fatherhood. Is like that, like the act of giving, the act of sacrifice. It serves me more than anything else can ever do, right? And and man, like it's the best. Like we all get to play roles in life, right? Like we were football players, we were boyfriends, now we're husbands, fiancés. We're friends, we the homie, we the gang. But for me,
Player for life.
yeah,
Baby daddy.
Yeah, but like the best role that I get to play is being a dad, bro.
Yeah.
Like, man, ain't nothing more rewarding. Like, I get hyped on Saturdays to just sit in the stands. I mean, last year I remember my boy, he had a half court shot, and I had to put my shades on.
Because you was crying.
I was over there crying, dog. I was like, and like he was so hyped. He came and dapped me up. I was like, well, good job. But I'm over there really like, oh snap, like, hey, I need a tissue.
Hey,
like,
no, seriously, no, seriously, I know exactly what you mean because I've dealt with partners in the past when they see how I don't think I'm a very emotional person at all.
Right.
Good, bad, or different. I don't think that. I just wasn't raised that way. I didn't see a lot of that in my household.
Yeah.
So I just got accustomed to that. But going back to my comment about breaking the cycle or the stigma, like I intentionally
show emotion
to my kids.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
hug, kiss, love you this, love you that, make everything a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially when they come to me with like a little like a reward or success or go to, I'm blowing it. I'm going crazy. Like,
Right.
And when like my daughter walk in the house, I'm like, come get me a hug. My partner was
for
like,
sure.
you don't even hug me when you walk in the house, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm so intentional when it comes to parenting, and like same way, dude. Like my daughter, like decided to go for school consult 2 weeks ago. And she had to write a speech, and she had to read the speech in class, and she called me about it. And like we going over her speech on her iPad, I'm giving her little tips and stuff. Next day she do it, right. I surprise her the next day. I go up there, we go get ice cream, we hung out. And I think the voting was like 2 days later, she wins it. And like hearing her,
You cried?
like, I ain't gonna lie, I got very emotional.
As you should.
Yeah,
though.
I did.
That's
I'm
okay,
just
bro.
like,
Like that is
I got
okay.
extremely emotional.
Yeah.
And me and her mom, we have such a great co-parenting relationship where we can, like my mom said all the time, we're like brothers and sisters. Like we can rag on each other, like a really good point. And she has said that like to a point, like I know we joke around a lot, but like that was like seeing y'all have that moment was like everything.
Yep.
And really seeing my daughter have that moment and being proud of something that she accomplished was everything for me. So back to your point,
Absolutely, man.
Like I can't recall, like I never knew my dad, which never cared for. I never let that use it as a hurdle to parenting or to just life, period. But I never had that experience with even my mom when I was going through certain things as a kid and potentially wanting to share achievements, little achievements, if it was a spelling contest. Or I know like my thing was math growing up. So I used to kill these little math things, and I was like, I was won every one for like
Cardell
one whole
spelled
semester.
Excalibur.
Bro, what's wrong with this dude? I was like trying to have a serious moment with this guy, and he just throw a curveball in there like that.
Go ahead, knock it out.
EX. CAILER. Wait, is it?
Look, I ain't never got out the first round of
Right.
spelling bee. Never,
You said,
bro.
can you use it in a sentence?
I be asking my son how to spell stuff,
Man,
bro.
what?
Remember we was on FaceTime, you asked him. I was like, bro, what?
Look, man, we was on a Zoom and I was taking
The type,
notes.
yeah.
And Boom kept laughing at me.
Bruh,
I'm like,
you
bruh.
was killing us,
I'm
bruh.
like, dog, look, if it wasn't for spell check,
Man, what?
man,
Be outta
I'll
here.
Be out of here.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, but I think this has been a great way to wrap things up, man.
Absolutely.
Talking
I
about,
was, yeah.
you know, fatherhood and how we transition and kind of, you know, a lot of things that we learn from sports and how that kind of plays a part of our lives now.
Yep.
So I appreciate you guys as always.
Absolutely, man.
And until next time.
Love y'all boys.
Keep it a buck.
Keep it buck with the Bucks.